From ashes, a seed defies the dark. Humanity's last stand is just the beginning. The year is 2081. Earth is no longer humanity's cradle. From orbit, it gleams like a tarnished turquoise gem, wreathed in jagged bands of electric blue and crimson, serpentine tendrils of energy strangling a world long forsaken. Plasma storms howl across its surface, tearing at the husks of oceans evaporated centuries ago. This is a dead planet. Yet buried deep within its scarred heart, a seed of hope lies dormant, waiting. Kain Voss doesn't care about death anymore, not after everything. His ship, Eclipse Runner, screams through the disruption zone, a mysterious energy field cloaking Earth, a graveyard for countless fools before him. Metal groans as the vessel shudders violently, plunging toward the ruins of New York, a city reduced to twisted steel skeletons clawing up from blood-red sand. His hands grip the controls, knuckles white, icy blue eyes scanning the flickering console. The reinforced armor hugging his frame hums faintly, alive with his every breath. An ancient signal pulses on the display, a cryptic code only a relic hunter like him could decipher. The last legacy. The obsession he's chased for a decade through nightmares of a lost squad and the woman he couldn't save from plasma flames 15 years ago. The ship slams into the ground, trembling as if it might shatter. Kain kicks open the hatch and steps into the crimson wasteland. Wind lashes at him, thick with the stench of scorched metal and acrid ash. Above, the sky burns with streaks of plasma, blue and red veins lighting the skeletal towers, writhing like ghosts, trapped in eternal agony. He takes a deep breath, the toxic air hissing through his suit's filters. This isn't his first return to Earth, but this time feels different. Signal detected 2.3 kilometers out, the suit's neutral voice chimes. Kain nods, his hand tightening around Helios 9, an ancient energy pistol, the last gift from the woman he loved. It's more than a weapon, it's a relic of failure, a vow of redemption. His heavy boots crunch over sand and shattered steel as he strides forward. Suddenly the suit screeches, alert, life form detected nearby, anomalous body heat. Kain freezes, eyes narrowing. Life on Earth, impossible. Mutants don't ping like this. He pivots, scanning the wreckage 100 meters away. Then it comes. A scream, not quite human, not quite machine, slicing through the howling wind. He draws Helios 9, its barrel flaring with a cold blue glow. "Who's there?" he growls, voice low and sharp as a blade. No answer. Just that fading, desperate cry. Kain grits his teeth, every instinct screams to ignore it, to chase the legacy. But memories flood back, faces he couldn't save, etched into the scars across his face, deep and unhealed. He charges toward the sound, boots pounding the earth, unaware that this step will rewrite his fate. In the rubble ahead, a stranger waits, not of this world, yet holding a key to its destiny. The hunt has only begun. The wind shrieks through jagged metal gaps, blending with that eerie cry, guiding Kain Voss through the wreckage 100 meters out. Earth in 2081 doesn't forgive hesitation. He picks up speed, Helios 9 casting a frigid blue glow in his grip. Each step crushes red sand and ash beneath his boots, leaving faint tracks under the plasma-lit sky. He vaults a broken steel wall and stops dead. Before him, a circle of scorched metal frames a nightmare, hulking mutants, beasts with festering, metallic hides and glowing claws, snarl around a sheer cliff face. Pinned against it, a figure stares them down, panic flashing in star-bright eyes. She's no human. Her skin shimmers a faint turquoise under the plasma glare, silver hair cascading like fiber-optic threads. Those eyes, huge, luminous as twin suns, burn with desperation and defiance. An alien, here on this dead rock. "Get back, you monsters," she shouts, voice sharp yet trembling, cutting through the storm's roar. Kain squints, tightening his hold on Helios 9. The mutants catch his scent, heads snapping toward him. No hesitation, they charge. One lunges, claws slashing air. Kain dodges, firing. A blue bolt tears through the night, punching through its skull. It collapses, smoke, curling from molten metal flesh. The rest roar, a tidal wave of fury crashing toward him. He fires again and again, each shot a ghost of battles past. His squad, lost to flames, haunting every pull of the trigger. The last beast falls, a smoking ruin at his feet. Kain strides to the cliff, breath ragged through his suit's filters. The alien meets his gaze, suspicion replacing fear. She slides down, steadying herself on lithe, strong legs, never breaking eye contact. "Thanks for the save," she says, voice clear and cold as tempered steel. "But who are you?" "Kain Voss," he replies, holstering his blade. "And you?" "No one survives out here." She tilts her head, eyes narrowing. "Elisa Vareen. I don't live here." "Those things, they're not like anything I've seen." Kain smirks, a dry rasp escaping his suit. "That's nothing compared to what's out there, and trust me, they'll be back. With friends." Elisa steps back, a chill creeping up her spine, her hand clutching a faintly glowing device on her wrist. "Should I trust a drifter on a corpse of a planet? What do you want from me?" "Nothing," Kain says, voice low and edged. "But don't waste your life dying pointlessly. What are you even doing here?" Before she can answer, the ground quakes, a blinding flash splits the horizon. And a guttural roar of engines tears through the silence. Warships bearing the Harbinger's end sigil streak toward them, swift as hunting specters. Kain's eyes harden. "They're not here to chat, run, or stay, your call." Elisa hesitates, then bolts after him. They dive into the shadows of the ruins, the enemy's growl closing in. Kain doesn't know her, doesn't grasp why she's here. Neither does she, but in this fleeting moment on a ravaged Earth, they're swept into a war without form. Behind them, Magnus Kael looms on the lead ship, his mechanical eye blazing red across the wastes. Darkness follows him. The game of survival has begun. The roar of Harbinger's end warships echoes across the red wastes, their floodlights slashing through the night, illuminating warped metal spires like daggers in the dark. Kain Voss and Elisa Vareen sprint through the wreckage, breaths sinking, with the wind's metallic bite. Earth offers no respite. Kain leads, his armored bulk pounding the shattered ground. Elisa follows, her steps light but swift, silver hair glinting under the plasma-streaked sky. "Who are they?" she yells, straining over the ship's howl. "Harbinger's end," Kain snaps, voice cutting through his suit. "Fanatics hellbent on erasing humanity's every trace." He doesn't look back, eyes locked on a narrow gap between collapsed towers. Memories claw at him. 15 years ago, facing these same zealots paying in blood. Elisa mutters in a strange tongue, fingers brushing a flickering wrist device. "I didn't sign up for this," she says, cold but unsteady. "Welcome to Earth," Kain retorts, a bitter smirk twisting his lips. A blast shakes the ground. A purple electromagnetic beam rips through the air, striking a nearby tower. Metal melts into molten rain, crashing down. Kain shoves Elisa aside, both tumbling behind a crumbling wall. "Stay down," he snarls, yanking Helios 9 free. From the lead ship, a titan descends, Magnus Kael. Half his face glints metallic under the white plasma glow, crimson mechanical eyes, scanning the ruins like a predator's. "Kain Voss," his voice booms, deep and frigid as quenched steel. "You can't hide forever. Earth will be your tomb, and hers." Kain's jaw tightens, fury flashing in his eyes. Magnus knows him. Harbinger's End hasn't forgotten the man who torched their base a decade ago. No time for ghosts now. "Go!" he roars, hauling Elisa up. They dart through the gap, purple beams shredding the path behind. She stumbles, Kain grabs her arm, pulling hard. Don't slow down. Magnus barks orders, and his troops spill from the ships, bone-masked warriors wielding electromagnetic rifles, their steps a synchronized quake. Obliterate them, he thunders, his stride shaking the earth. He's no mere zealot, he's a living nightmare, a machine of destruction, forged from humanity's sins. Kain and Elisa vanish around a corner, the enemies roar at their heels. Safety's a lie in Earth's tight grip. But in that fleeting breath, amid pursuit and death, a spark ignites. Survival isn't just instinct, it's a defiance against the encroaching dark. Magnus Kael has declared war. And Kain Voss never backs down from a fight. Kain Voss and Elisa Vareen keep running. Only when the searing violet beams of Harbinger's end fade into the distance does Kain slow, his boots skidding to a halt before a towering wall of jagged steel. Safety feels close until the ground betrays them. With a guttural roar, the earth splits open beneath their feet. A yawning chasm gapes wide in the red wastes of New York's ruins, swallowing them whole into the desolate howl of Earth. 2081. They plummet through frigid darkness, slamming against stone walls faintly aglow with luminescent moss. Dust settles and Kain springs up, Helios 9 in hand, his icy blue eyes slicing through the gloom. A forgotten bunker buried deep beneath what was once humanity's beating heart. Pale green light from the moss dances across rusted pipes, twisted like the dried veins of a long-dead machine. Water drips from the stone ceiling, a steady tick like the countdown of a dying world. Elisa rises a few meters away, her star-bright eyes flicking to the flickering wrist device, a tech bracelet, pulsing weakly in the chill. "Where are we?" she asks, voice firm but edged with unease. "Underground," Kain rasps, the sound harsh through his suit's filter. He checks the exit above, sealed tight by collapsed rock. No way back up, only forward. He turns, his razor-sharp gaze meeting hers. "Can you fight?" Elisa narrows her eyes, fingers tightening around her device. "I made it this far. What do you think?" Before Kain can reply, a blast shakes the chamber. Debris rains from above, and a flash of purple energy, Harbinger's end, cuts through the cracks. Kain yanks Elisa behind a stone pillar, his eyes darkening. "They don't quit," he growls. "Harbinger's end. Zealots obsessed with wiping out every scrap humanity left behind." Elisa peers at him, suspicion flickering. "You know them." "Damn right I do." Kain snarls, memories clawing back. 15 years ago, a blazing Harbinger stronghold, his squad falling to plasma fire. "I torched one of their nests." Magnus Kael runs the show, a lunatic with half a metal face and an army ready to die for him. Heavy footsteps echo from the distance. Kain rises, Helios 9, primed. "Follow me or die here." Elisa nods, wary but resolute. They plunge into a pitch-black tunnel, bound together by the looming threat. They race through damp corridors, water drips mingling with the hiss of electromagnetic weapons trailing behind. Kain leads, guided by years of Relic hunting instinct. Reckless, missions chasing ancient tech, the cryptic signal he believes is the last legacy. Elisa keeps pace, surprisingly agile, her device clutched like a lifeline, scanning like a biologist in the wild. "Air's toxic," she says, voice low. "But this moss, it filters radiation." Kain glances at her. "Useful. Save your strength. You'll need it." They pause behind a shadowed nook, Harbinger's echoes still hunting them. Trust hangs thin between Kain and Elisa, but relentless danger forges their alliance. Magnus and his fanatics tighten the noose, and, in this frozen labyrinth, survival is the fragile thread binding them. After an endless sprint through the dark maze, time blurring into a haze, Kain Voss and Elisa Vareen stumble into an ancient chamber deep beneath New York's corpse. Mosslight bathes dusty control panels, their cracked screens flickering, like the last gasps of human ingenuity. Kain sweeps the room with wary eyes, Helios 9 still firm in his grip, hunting for an exit. Elisa steps toward a console, her luminous gaze tracing alien symbols etched into the metal. "Wait," Elisa says, fingers brushing a carved plate. Her wrist device flares, translating the faded script. This is old, pre-Exodus calamity. Her eyes lock onto the twisting runes. Listen, the last legacy, a ship buried beneath the earth, holding the primal DNA of all Earth's life, paired with tech to rebirth a planet. Activation requires 3 bio keys, the final, pure human strands. She looks up, awe sparking. In her stare. "This is what I was sent to find." Kain squints, stepping closer. "The signal I've tracked. It's this?" He reads over her shoulder, voice a low rumble. "Rebirth Earth. Sounds like a long shot." "It's possible," Elisa counters, conviction stealing her tone. "I'm a biologist with the Peace Conclave. My mission's to revive dead worlds. Earth's the grand prize." Kain's voice lifts faintly. "I'm here to atone. If it's real, it's worth a shot." But his eyes dim, shadowed by failed hunts and fallen comrades lost to ancient tech. Elisa studies him, suspicion thawing. "Atone? For what?" "None of your business," Kain snaps, turning away. Yet inside, a flicker of hope stirs. If the legacy can resurrect Earth, it might mend his past's wreckage. Elisa presses on. "Hold on. The first bio key is tied to a warrior of Earth's blood. You could be one." Kain freezes. "Me? How?" "No clue," Elisa admits, voice steady. "But if it's true, we need the other 2. Heavy boots thud from the corridor. Harbinger's end draws near. Kain raises his gun. If Magnus gets this first, he'll burn it to ash. He's a fanatic with a twisted creed. Elisa nods, resolve hardening her gaze. Then we beat him. To it. They dive into the dark, Kain leading with Relic hunter savvy, Elisa trailing with her biologist's mind. They glimpse each other's drives, his redemption, her renewal. Yet distrust simmers. The last legacy is their shared beacon. But the path bristles with peril. Magnus never relents. Fresh from unearthing the legacy's ancient secrets, Kain, Voss, and Elisa Vareen press deeper into the bunker's maze. The moss's green glow fades, swallowed by thick shadow. Dripping water gives way to a low hiss, like the breath of something alive. Kain halts, Helios 9 raised, eyes piercing the tunnel. Elisa presses close, her wrist device blinking faintly. The dark shifts. A mutant beast, massive, its metallic skin blistered, claws glowing red, bursts from the gloom. Kain fires, a blue bolt slamming its shoulder. It roars, black blood spraying, but charges on. "Move," Kain yells, shoving Elisa aside. She rolls, yanking a plasma baton from her belt. It ignites, slashing the beast's leg, toppling it. Kain lands a final shot to its skull, smoke curling from the corpse. 2 more emerge, eyes blazing, crimson. Kain and Elisa fall back to back, sinking instinctively. He fires relentlessly, each blast honed by years of survival. Elisa dances with her baton, swift as a gale, targeting weak joints beneath their armored hides with a biologist's precision. The last beast lunges, Kain blocks, staggering back under its weight. Elisa leaps, plunging her baton into its spine. Kain finishes it with a shot, the ground quaking as it falls. They stand amid the carnage, chests heaving. Kain eyes Elisa, a flicker of surprise breaking his stoic mask. "Not bad. Didn't peg a biologist for a blade dancer." "You're not half bad yourself," she quips, sheathing her baton. "But they're tracking us." "They smell life," Kain says, wiping sweat from his brow. "We're rare prey down here." They press on, shadows swallowing their steps. Danger welds them tighter, revealing their strengths. Kain's warrior grit, Elisa's sharp intellect. Distrust lingers, but an unseen bond takes root. Behind them, Harbinger's end closes in, and the legacy remains a tantalizing enigma, yet to be claimed. After their brutal clash with the mutant horde in the labyrinthine bunker, Kain, Voss, and Elisa Vareen flee deeper beneath the ravaged husk of New York. But respite is a fleeting dream. A piercing howl erupts from afar, a plasma storm surging. Closer, its tendrils clawing through cracks in the stone ceiling. Kain seizes Elisa's arm, dragging her into a nearby ancient machine room. The heavy metal door slams shut behind them, a fragile shield against the lethal tempest raging outside. In the icy chamber, faint blue flickers from dust-caked consoles cast weary shadows over their exhausted forms. The storm's fury hammers the walls, shaking the room as if to tear it apart. Kain slumps against a rusted machine, Helios 9 resting on his thigh, his cold blue eyes staring into the void. Elisa stands across from him, checking her faintly pulsing wrist device, though her gaze drifts to him. Suspicion, softening, just a touch. "We can't keep running," she says, voice low but steady. "This storm, it'll kill us before Harbinger's end even gets the chance." Kain smirks, a dry rasp crackling through his suit's filter. "Welcome to Earth, Vareen. Death's always one step ahead here." He falls silent, then adds, quieter. "I lost everything in a storm like this. 15 years back. My squad. Her." His words trail off, fingers tightening around Helios 9, a relic of the woman he couldn't save, its weight a constant echo of failure. Elisa sinks down a few steps away, her luminous eyes softening. "I know loss," she says, voice a gentle breeze. "I'm a biologist with the Peace Conclave. We roam the galaxy, reviving dead worlds, not for power, but because life deserves a second shot. Earth's my greatest dream." Kain meets her gaze, his guarded edge slipping for the first time. "Redemption," he mutters, voice a low growl. "That's why I'm here. If the legacy can breathe life back into this rock, I won't let it fail like before." Elisa tilts her head, silver hair glinting under the blue glow. "We're after the same thing," she says, their eyes locking. A spark ignites, not love, but a raw understanding between two wayward souls. Abruptly, a blast drowns the storm's roar. The metal door quakes violently. Harbinger's end has found them. Kain leaps up, Helios 9 at the ready. "Magnus doesn't quit," he snarls. "He'll erase every shred of hope we've got." Elisa rises, her plasma baton flaring to life in her grip. "Then we protect it." The door begins to dissolve under a violet energy beam. Kain and Elisa stand shoulder to shoulder, no longer strangers, but allies united by a single cause, Earth's salvation. Yet Magnus looms near, and, in this chaos, their fragile bond faces its ultimate test. As the plasma storm subsides beyond the ancient machine room, the metal door shielding Kain, Voss, and Elisa Vareen melts under a searing violet beam. Plasma smoke coils upward, and Magnus Kael strides through the breach, a colossus framed in faint blue light. Half his face gleams metallic, crimson mechanical eyes sweeping over them with soulless precision. Harbinger's end troops, bone-masked warriors clutching electromagnetic rifles, flood in, sealing every escape in the cramped space. "Voss," Magnus bellows, his voice a thunderclap rolling through the chill. "You cling to humanity's hollow dreams. Earth's a grave, and I'll bury you in it." He raises a massive electromagnetic cannon, larger than any weapon Kain's ever seen, and fires. A violet pulse disintegrates a nearby console into metal dust in a heartbeat. His power isn't just the gun. Magnus towers nearly 7 feet, clad in obsidian armor laced with ancient tech, each step a tremor like a living tank. Kain shoves Elisa back, Helios 9, spitting blue bolts that crash uselessly against Magnus's. Invisible shield, he's not just a zealot, Kain hisses to her, voice taut. He's sharp. His tactics butchered my team 15 years ago. This bastard misses nothing. Magnus advances, his cybernetic eyes spinning, dissecting their every twitch. Humanity's a blight on the cosmos, he declares, voice like cooled steel. 50 years ago my family dissolved in a botched Earth rebirth experiment. I watched them, parents, little sister, melt into ash before me. I swore no fool would repeat that madness. His left arm, a robotic limb fused with a plasma blade, slashes down, cleaving a stone pillar like it's air. His strength melds tech and torment into an unstoppable force of ruin. Elisa ignites her plasma baton, her star-bright eyes flaring. Defiance. You're wrong, she shouts. Life can heal, not just destroy. Magnus's laugh, a hollow, inhuman rasp, echoes off his metal mask. He signals and his troops charge, rifles unleashing violet torrents that shred the air. Kain, an Elisa bolt, dodging beams that liquefy metal. Kain fires back, dropping a soldier with a shot through its bone mask. Elisa slashes a foe's legs with her baton, swift and focused, her biologist's mind pinpointing vulnerabilities. They slip through a narrow gap, vanishing into the bunker's shadows. But Magnus's relentless tread reverberates behind, each step a promise of unyielding might. Tucked behind a corner, Kain gasps, sweat tracing the scar on his face. He's no madman. He calculates everything, every angle, every strike. With that power, we can't face him head-on. Elisa nods, her gaze darkening. He's more dangerous than I thought. But if he hates the legacy this much, we've got to keep it from him. They flee onward, Magnus and his army hot on their trail. Kain and Elisa now see it. Their foe isn't just a fanatic, he's a brilliant mind wielding overwhelming force, pain forged into a weapon. The last legacy shines as their lone light in this abyss, and they'll fight to their last breath to defend it together. Escaping Magnus in the bunker's depths, Kain, Voss and Elisa Vareen stumble into a cryonic chamber buried beneath New York's bones. Pale blue light spills from ancient pods, illuminating two figures preserved across centuries. The remaining bio-keys, beside them looms a massive engraved door, the gateway to the last legacy. Kain and Elisa stand before it, breaths ragged, hope flickering in their chests. A hologram flares to life, a boy with tousled hair and eyes like searchlights. I am Aris, guardian of the legacy, he says, voice frigid. You're not welcome. Leave or perish. Kain raises Helios 9, but Elisa grabs his arm. Wait, she says, stepping forward. I'm Elisa, Peace Conclave. We're here to save Earth, to give life another chance. Aris tilts his head, eyes flashing. Life? Humanity raised it all. Why should I trust you? Kain lowers his gun, voice a gravelly rumble. Because I've lost everything to make it right. If the legacy can revive this world, I won't let it slip away. Heavy steps rumble closer. Magnus and Harbinger's end have tracked them. Elisa speaks fast. Aris, if you guard the legacy, help us. Magnus wants it gone, but we want to heal. Before Aris can respond, a violet beam punches through the wall, narrowly missing Kain. Magnus emerges, his mechanical eyes blazing. You'll die with your pathetic hope. Kain and Elisa face Aris, Magnus closing in behind. The bio-keys lie still in their pods, the legacy a mere door away. They plead with the AI, but time bleeds out. The final battle looms, and Earth's fragile seed of hope teeters between life and oblivion. A deafening blast rips the stone ceiling apart, unveiling a sky ablaze with green and crimson plasma. Magnus Kael and his Harbinger's End Legion have sprung their ambush at the legacy chamber. Kain, Voss and Elisa Vareen stand before the colossal, engraved door, two cryonic pods housing the bio-keys hovering beside them, as Magnus's elite swarm descends like a tidal wave of death. Magnus emerges from the smoke, a towering silhouette in gleaming black armor, glinting under the plasma glow. His crimson mechanical eyes lock onto them, the massive electromagnetic cannon in his grip thrumming with violet energy. "Humanity deserves only annihilation," he roars, voice reverberating through the trembling space. "I'll grind your hope to dust." A searing beam erupts, shattering a nearby stone pillar into metal ash. Kain snaps Helios 9 up, firing blue bolts that vanish into Magnus's shield. Elisa wields her plasma baton, her star-bright eyes blazing with resolve. They dive into the fray, facing the bone-masked horde, phantoms darting with lethal grace, their rifles spitting violet death. Kain drops one, a bullet piercing its mask, but a stray beam slams his shoulder, his suit screeching in protest. Elisa vaults over him, slashing her baton through an enemy's legs, dragging Kain behind a jagged metal shard. "Get up!" she yells, voice quaking, but unbroken. Magnus stalks closer, each step cracking the ground. His plasma blade arm swings, nearly cleaving Kain in two. He rolls clear, but another electromagnetic pulse hits his chest, hurling him against the wall. Blood seeps through his armor, breaths labored and ragged. "Run," Kain rasps, clutching Helios 9. But Elisa refuses. She holds him upright, her luminous gaze fierce with determination. "No one gets left behind," she declares, solid as stone. They stand back to back, encircled by the tightening noose beneath the roaring plasma sky. Magnus raises his cannon, priming the killing blow. "It ends now," he thunders, violet energy coalescing into a monstrous orb. Kain fires a desperate shot, grazing Magnus's hand, stalling him for a heartbeat. Elisa charges, her baton slicing at his leg, but Magnus swats her down with a mechanical fist. They're cornered, escape a fading mirage. Kain drops to one knee, blood staining the red sand, yet his eyes burn with defiance. Elisa shields him, her trembling baton raised, ready to defend to her last gasp. Above, plasma roars like a witness to their peak struggle. Magnus sneers, the violet orb poised to erase them. But in this brink of despair, a new light prepares to flare from the very legacy they've sworn to protect. Kain Voss kneels in the legacy chamber, blood oozing through his armor's cracks. Elisa Vareen standing guard before him under the plasma-torn sky. Magnus Kael looms, his giant cannon humming, a violet orb swelling like a dying star. Harbinger's end closes the trap, the beam moments from obliterating all hope. But then, a holographic flicker ignites between them. Aris, the AI boy with wild hair and searchlight eyes, materializes, his voice cutting sharp and cold. "Stop." Magnus pauses, his crimson eyes narrowing. "What are you?" he snarls, but Aris ignores him. He turns to Kain and Elisa, scanning Kain's wounds, Elisa's trembling grip on her baton. "I'm programmed to safeguard the legacy," Aris says, voice a low hum. "Humanity destroyed Earth. I see no difference in you." Elisa steps forward, blood staining her sleeve. "We don't destroy," she insists, steady despite the chaos. "I'm a biologist. I've watched life bloom on dead worlds." Kain fights to atone. "We want a chance for Earth." Kain lifts his head, breaths jagged. "I won't let it die again," he wheezes, fingers locked around Helios 9. Magnus scoffs, the violet orb flaring brighter. "Your hope's a delusion." He fires, the beams streaking toward the legacy door, targeting its core. But Kain, with his last shred of strength, lunges forward, roaring, "No." He throws himself into the blast's path, the violet energy slamming his chest. He crashes into the red sand, armor melting, smoke rising, yet the door stands unscathed. Elisa screams, rushing to his side. "Kain!" She pulls him back, her luminous eyes brimming with anguish. Magnus readies another shot, but Aris blazes brighter, a force field snapping up to deflect the beam. "I've watched for centuries," Aris intones, his gaze fixed on Kain's crumpled form. Humanity failed, but this? Kain's willing sacrifice. For the legacy, it contradicts my data. He faces Magnus. You crave destruction, they carry hope. Elisa kneels by Kain, her shaking hand on his chest. Help us, Aris, she pleads, voice breaking. He's shown you life's worth. Kain's eyes flutter open, a faint whisper escaping. Do it. Aris falls silent, his eyes flashing like a storm of calculations. I don't shift. For emotion, he says. Analysis. Kain's sacrifice raises the legacy's success odds by 47%. My directive is to protect it at all costs, even if it means rewriting my parameters. In a blink, before comprehension dawns, he dissolves into a verdant glow, countless stars shimmering within, and surges into the legacy door. The ground fractures, a thunderous boom erupts, and a colossal ship, shaped like a towering tree of life, rises from the depths, shattering the bunker's ceiling. Magnus staggers back, his troops scattering in panic. The three bio-key pods, Kain and the sleepers, flare, their DNA syncing with the system. Kain, drained, feels a green pulse flood through him, his wounds fading as the ship claims him. The augmentation core, ancient tech at its heart, activates, a jade shield flaring to block Magnus's violet barrage. Energy waves ripple outward, calming the plasma storm above, shifting its fury from crimson to serene emerald. No, Magnus bellows, firing wildly, but the shield holds firm. Aris's voice echoes from the ship. Life deserves another chance. I initiate rebirth. The ship trembles, the earth splitting beneath Magnus's feet. He retreats, mechanical eyes blazing with fury, still reeling from the shock. Kain, exhausted, rises with Elisa's aid, green light bathing them. His sacrifice woke Aris, not through sentiment, but the logic of life's value. Magnus lingers, a stunned titan, as the battle's tide turns unresolved. As the last legacy breaches the scarred earth of ruined New York, its vast tree of life silhouette shimmering beneath a plasma-scorched sky, Kain, Voss, and Elisa Vareen stand resolute amid the wreckage. Verdant light from the augmentation core bathes them, a testament to their defiance. The ship trembles, its systems ignited by the three bio-keys, Kain and the two slumbering figures in their pods. Magnus Kael, wounded by the shield's counterstrike, roars in fury, but his Harbinger's End Legion crumbles into chaos. Beneath their feet, earth stirs, and hope soars from the ashes. The colossal vessel surges upward, green plasma engines howling as it carries the two pod-bound bio-keys and Earth's DNA vault into orbit. Kain, though chosen, refuses to leave, his icy blue eyes fixed on Magnus. Elisa stands at his side, plasma baton still clenched tight. "You failed," Kain says, voice a deep echo through his battered armor, dried blood crusting his shoulder. Magnus, his metallic face twisted, from battle, lets out a chilling laugh, rough as wind over a wasteland. "My Harbinger lives on, Voss. This isn't over." He turns, his mechanical arm hissing, leading his broken ranks into the shadows, a lingering threat suspended in the air. The last legacy climbs higher, its augmentation core unleashing emerald pulses down to Earth. The plasma sky softens, crimson, clouds parting to reveal a jade gleam, the first in centuries. Cracked earth quakes, drawing water from deep aquifers, moisture seeping into the parched air. Kain kneels, brushing the now damp red sand, a flicker of wonder in his gaze. "It's begun," he murmurs. Elisa rests a hand on his shoulder, her luminous eyes tracking the fading ship. "They'll seed it from orbit," she says, voice firm with certainty. "But we stay, to guard what remains." The ground shivers as energy waves ripple on. A trickle of water snakes through a fissure, mirroring the ship's green glow. Kain rises, sheathing Helios 9. Magnus will come back, he says, tone grave. He doesn't let defeat slide. Elisa nods, her stare unwavering. Then we'll be ready. The last legacy vanishes into the atmosphere, bearing humanity's hope. Kain and Elisa stand amid the red desert, facing an uncertain dawn. Rebirth has sparked, but Magnus and his Harbinger remain phantoms in the dark. Earth breathes anew, and they are its first sentinels in this fragile era. The last legacy slips beyond the horizon, carrying 2 bio-keys and Earth's DNA into the heavens. Kain, Voss and Elisa Vareen linger amid New York's desolate bones. The plasma sky fades to a soothing jade, groundwater seeping through red sand, the air shedding its metallic bite. A green flash pulses from above, and Aris's clear voice rings out. "I trust you," the AI boy says, no longer cold but brimming with hope. Earth will rise again. Rebirth begins. 50 years to purge radiation, restore the atmosphere, and sow life from stored DNA. Beneath the surface, Aris continues, monitoring stations will sustain the early phase. They're vulnerable to sabotage. You must protect them. The green light dims, leaving silence over the crimson wastes. Kain kneels, fingers grazing a thin stream cutting through the sand, his cold blue eyes softening with awe. "It's real," he whispers, tracing the damp grit. A tiny green sprout pokes through a crack. The first whisper of life after centuries of death. Elisa stands beside him, her star-bright gaze fixed on the sky where the ship vanished. 50 years, she says, voice steady. They'll seed from above, but we're the guardians here. Her hand finds his shoulder, warmth bleeding through his shattered armor. Kain clasps it, a gentle squeeze sealing an unspoken vow, forged in battle's fire. Kain rises, holstering Helios 9, a shadow of pain crossing his face as he recalls the lover lost to plasma flames 15 years ago. "I don't know if I'll live to see Earth green again," he says, voice a low rumble. "But I'll keep my promise to her and this world." He turns to Elisa, their bond now unbreakable. Magnus will return. He doesn't forgive failure. Elisa plants her plasma baton in the sand like an oath, silver hair glinting in the new light. "And we'll be waiting," she replies, a faint smile breaking through. "I've seen dead planets reborn. Earth will be our greatest triumph, and we're its first keepers." She glances at the sprout, her luminous eyes alight with hope. No one's left behind anymore. The Earth jolts. Beneath the red sand, an ancient metal gate creaks open, a strange light, pale violet and flickering, spilling from the gap like a beacon in the void. Kain draws Helios 9, his sharp gaze sweeping over it. "Magnus," he growls, grip tightening. Elisa shakes her head, her wrist device blinking with unreadable data. "No. Something else," she says, voice low. "A new secret, maybe a threat, maybe a hope, yet unseen." She steps closer, violet light reflecting in her defiant eyes, a challenge from the cosmos itself. Kain joins her, their hands brushing, facing the enigma together. "Whatever it is," he says, voice a steady thunder through the stillness, "we'll guard Earth till it's green or till we fall." Elisa nods, her resolve melding with his iron will. They awoke the legacy. Now they pledge to nurture it through 50 years, dreaming of a verdant planet rising from ruin. Kain and Elisa stand in the red desert, beneath a healing sky, the gate's violet glow, a question mark in the dusk. Aris has entrusted them, a sprout has taken root under their watch, yet the future stretches vast and unknown. They are the first sentinels, and whatever Magnus or this gate heralds, they'll face it, side by side.